Valtteri, it's James.
There's something loose between my legs.
What the f*** is this guy doing? I don't know.
Tripping major nutsack.
Come on! No more radio for the rest of the race.
Hello everyone and welcome along to the Reserve Drivers Podcast for another week. We're live in Mexico after the Mexican Grand Prix and we're
a little short on humour today.
A little short on humour today and every episode, by the way. I'm Tim and I'm joined as always by my number 2 driver, a man who arrived tonight
looking absolutely like hell.
That's a fair assessment. Luke Rocker, welcome along.
Thank you very much, Tim. I don't know what you're talking about. No humour. The reviews are in. The Reserve Drivers. 9 out of 10, and if you're lucky, we'll get to that 10.
With penalties. What a race, Lucky Boy. What an epic Mexican Grand Prix. We're live in Mexico.
Oh, Tim, we wouldn't be in Mexico if it wasn't for a cheeky drop of tequila.
A bit of Lando Norris 3-wheeler tequila.
Or I like to call it Kimmy's breakfast juice. There you go. You have a little bit of tequila for you, tequila for me.
Tequila for me. A toast.
A toast.
Cheers.
Oh!
Whoa!
That hit me right on the Sergio Perez's, that did.
I've got a bit of Checo troubles after that one. What a weekend it was, Lukey Boy, but we've got to get to the big breaking news, the big talking point from the weekend. Crofty, take it away.
Pierre Gasly been eating tacos. He has been eating tacos, I've confirmed that, and has had a lot of tummy trouble so far this weekend.
Tummy trouble. He's had tummy trouble and Crofty's confirmed it.
He has confirmed everything.
Pierre Gastro was eating tacos the whole weekend, had a bit of tummy trouble, Lukey Boy.
Well, look, he might have been coughing and vomiting up a lung and an intestine.
As you are as well at the moment. You've got a bit of tummy trouble.
I do. I don't know.
Have some more tequila.
I don't know what happened there. But luckily, Crofty and Ted were able to see the lighter side of it all.
Never has the nickname the Gas Man been more appropriate.
He's got a touch of the gas.
He has.
Pierre Gasly, the Gas Man.
The Gas Man had a touch of the gas during the weekend, Lukey Boy. Here's how he reacted to the news.
So it's going to be tight, and we'll try everything we can. It's a tight battle.
It's a tight battle. It's an absolutely tight battle. And we broke the exclusive, Lukey Boy, that he went with a 762 stop strategy to get rid of the Gastro.
I just hope the stewards don't penalise him for ignoring the sphincter.
Naturally.
There are very natural remedies he could have taken.
Herbally, Pierre Gasly, like everything in Formula One, had a strategy to solve the problem.
Just dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped.
Well, Tim, we know that it was a taco, a Mexican taco, that got Pierre Gasly feeling a bit ill. But in a Reserve Drivers exclusive,
Here we go.
I have managed to find out the exact kind of tacos that Pierre Gasly was eating.
Can you confirm?
I can confirm it was the Dr. Helmet Taco Kit.
The Dr. Helmet Tacos.
The Dr. Helmet Tacos. I'll have a Dr. Helmet Taco. You have a Dr. Helmet Taco. And let's see what we think. Oh, they're cold.
Yep, that's a hard shell. Yeah. That's a really hard shell.
Very hard to crack.
Of course, Lukey Boy, when you're feeling sick at work, you want a boss who understands you and understands your needs. Pierre Gasly's boss, Dr. Helmut Marko from Red Bull, he wouldn't make Pierre Gasly do anything when he's sick, would he?
He'd stick him in a diaper and put him in the car and send him out to qualify. Looks like that's what he did. Poor sausage.
Pierre Gasly, we wish him well. He wasn't the only one, of course, suffering under the Mexican food, Lukey Boy. Danny Ricciardo really struggling before qualifying.
Hang on, that's another fart joke. Bring it in.
Crack open the tequila.
See at the bottom.
Actually, I think I've got a bit of... Time now, Lukey Boy, for a bit of this.
Probably not the biggest piece of news you'll ever hear today.
Small talking point out of the Mexican Grand Prix, Lukey Boy. Lewis Hamilton wrapped up yet another win, his 10th of 2019, and celebrated in style atop the podium with a very special guest, the W10 Mercedes, which was raised from the ground.
This was amazing.
In a world first.
With his car and his winning car there with him.
What a celebration.
Oh, that was stylish, baby.
And we've taken a leaf out of Formula One's book. We tried that a little earlier ourselves with the intro to this podcast.
It was a race of strategy that got Lewis Hamilton the 10th victory of the season, and it was a race of tyre management. Tim.
My favourite. My favourite races are the ones where they have to manage the tyres for about 50-odd laps.
And Lewis did a fantastic job, and Sebastian Vettel was impressed.
If you're a woman on this planet and you have this guy, giving you a massage, like when he's giving you a massage like he's treating the tyres, it's just pure magic, so...
Whoa.
Yeah, sure, Lewis can massage the tyres, but he wasn't very happy about it. It'd be the most grubby masseuse ever if you're a woman and you've got Lewis massaging you. you.
I don't think this is going to work.
I don't think
We're not going to work.
This isn't going to last. I think we've made the wrong call.
I want you to take a look at the footage again. Now, just focus on Sebastian Vettel, okay? Just look at what he's doing and listen to the commentary.
If you're a woman on this planet and you have this guy, you know, giving you a massage, like when he's giving you a massage, like he's treating the tires, it's just pure magic.
Quite a decent love tap there from Sebastian Vettel.
Great strategic win for Mercedes, Lucky Boy.
What a surprise that Mercedes triumphed via strategy.
And what another surprise that Ferrari didn't triumph with strategy, struggled with Charles Leclerc's strategy in particular. Started first, finished about fourth.
Yeah, nowhere near it.
And Ferrari released this official statement on the strategy.
Don't blame it on the sunshine, don't blame it on the moonlight, don't blame it on the good times.
Blame it on the strategy.
Blame it on the strategy. Blame it on the strategy.
Okay, I have to be. When you threw to that, Tim, I thought this is the weirdest throw he's ever done. He's lost his mind.
Ferrari aren't blaming it on the sunshine. They're not blaming it on the moonlight. Blame it on the strategy.
Tim, it joys me when I get to say this. Play it again.
Don't blame it on the sunshine, don't blame it on the moonlight, don't blame it on the good times.
Blame it on the strategy.
But it was a big weekend for Lewis, Lucky Boy. Not only did he win the Mexican Grand Prix, take another step closer to a 6th World Championship, but if you watch this intro from the Sky Sports F1 coverage, it looks like he's launching his own fragrance.
'Cause I know where the sun rises, and I know where the sun sets.
Positivity by Lewis, the new fragrance, and we've got a bit of it here. Bit of positivity. Have a spray.
Spray. Ooh.
Sorry, I've given you tummy troubles. I've given you tummy.
Tim just sprayed positivity in my mouth.
It's Lewis Hamilton's spray for strategists, engineers, the Mercedes race crew. So it's plant-based.
Tested on animals?
Not tested on
Okay,
animals,
that's good.
but if you order it, it is delivered by private jet. So you do have to be wary of that. Formulated by Petronas. They've done a wonderful job on the scent. Well done to the guys and girls at Petronas. They claim it will last for hours, but Lewis isn't so sure about it. It's a wonderful smell. It's in stores now. Positivity by Lewis.
Talking about Lewis Hamilton and his positivity, he wasn't so positive to Daniel Ricciardo's fashion sense. Take a look at this clip from Lewis's Instagram.
Daniel, what are you wearing?
A bit critical of what Danny Rick was wearing.
What happened to sending love and positivity?
And you have to wonder, when a man who wears this, or this, or even this, is criticizing your fashion, you know you're in trouble.
When a man who looks like that thinks you're too much, then you've got to look the other way, I think.
Let's talk about Lewis's boss.
Tommy Hilfiger. Let's talk about him. I've got a segment on him.
No, not Tommy, Toto.
Okay.
David Croft was wondering what Toto Wolff was up to during this bit of footage.
Love to know what they're talking about. That could be the size of Toto Wolff.
Hang on, we'll stop it there. Let's stop it there. It's a family-friendly show, Crofty.
It's the size of his tummy trouble. It's the size of his tummy trouble.
We're not going to go any further into it. We'll let Christian Horner do that.
It's whoppingly large.
All right. I don't know what's happening at those team boss press conferences, but...
Toto's wolf is whoppingly large. In a beautiful touch at the end of the race, they raised it up onto the podium with Lewis. It was a wonderful touch. We can't show that, of course.
I'm still not sure what we're talking about, but...
Massive weekend for Lewis, Lucky Boy. Massive weekend for Lewis and the media, and it's time to celebrate it in our segment, Best Friends. We've done this the last few weeks. It's about Lewis Hamilton and his wonderful relationships with the men and women of the media. Here's Lewis Hamilton giving absolutely nothing to Christina Romero.
Lewis Hamilton, how are you?
You've got a friend in me.
Louis, how are you? Once again in Mexico.
I'm great. I love it. I love it here in Mexico.
What are you expecting of the race?
Sorry?
What are you expecting?
A hard fight.
You got a friend in me.
Lewis and Christina, two best friends. But the one man everyone wanted to talk to, Lucky Boy, was the local boy, the homegrown hero, Checo Perez. Sergio Perez, the one and only.
So who better to take us on a lap of the circuit Autodromo Hermano Rodriguez than Checo? He finally got his moment in the limelight. It was all Checo. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Sergio Perez, and I'll take you around a lap in the Hermano Rodriguez. So here we are opening a lap in Mexico. A very
Oh, hang on. Oh no, what's the...
What?
Someone's recorded over it. Who's recorded over it? It looks like home footage, home video. Oh, it's the Strolls.
Oh, no.
Oh, Lawrence
no.
Stroll has filmed
Oh,
video
no.
over it. Oh, that is an absolute... and there's a karting win from Stroll.
Oh.
Poor Checo.
Could Lance take us on a lap of that circuit, by the way?
Tim, very rarely for a racer's home race do they actually succeed, but for Checo, it was triumph.
Best of the rest in 7th.
And he pulled off an awesome move, and didn't everybody love it?
Down towards turn 1. Perez is on the inside. Has he got Danny Kvyat? I will let Mexico City give you the answer on that one.
The whole of Mexico City was in. Everyone was loving it, right? Everybody.
Everyone, all 20 million of them.
Everyone except Checo's dad?
Bit to the left to make sure there was a car's width for Perez to move into should he wish. And yeah, Sergio's dad rather likes that.
If that's his dad rather liking something, I'd hate to see his dad rather hating something. Antonio Perez, not a very happy chappy.
A friend of the show.
Antonio Perez. Well, the crowd absolutely loves Sergio Perez, Leaky Boy. Check out this moment from the formation lap. As David Croft says, the crowd rose to their feet.
Sergio Perez, we're on board with him here. I can tell you, everybody is on their feet in that stadium.
Everybody of those two people are on their feet in the stadium.
You know what the rest of the crowd needed? They needed the podium lifter.
They needed the
them
podium
up.
lifter to raise them up.
This week was a perfect opportunity for the Sport Pezza Racing Point Force India boys to get together and for Checo to quiz Lance Stroll on his home country of Mexico. And as you might have guessed, it didn't really go Lance's way.
I need to quiz you on my country.
The taco and the... I have no idea. Let's see.
You tell me, I don't know, you're fucking expert at this game.
Oh, it's
the wrong answer. You gotta go to that. It's good fun.
I don't know, Narcos.
Renault. Okay, let's talk about Renault.
Renault you want to. Let's talk about Renault.
They do things differently down at Renault.
Illegally as well. They do things differently and illegally and now manually after the decision during the week for the brake bias components.
I was watching Will Buxton's paddock pass, and I want you to take a look in the background. Look past Will Buxton if you can, and look in the background at how this Renault employee shakes another man's hand.
To split their strategy, they put Charles Leclerc on a two-stop strategy. They've Sebastian Vettel, who was really comfortable on his tyre.
So they can't build aero and they can't shake hands.
Now it's my turn. Okay. Play that again.
To split their strategy, they put Charles Leclerc on a two-stop strategy. They've Sebastian Vettel, who was really comfortable on his tyre.
Look, congratulations. What a joke. Put it there.
Thank you very much, Tim.
What a joke.
I actually haven't got to throw. That's a Cyril Abitable initiative.
Of course, the man front and centre in that clip and front and centre the whole weekend, Lukey Boy, was F1's digital analyst and friend of the show, Will Buxton.
It gets to a point in the show, in the podcast, where I lose it. I'm out now.
Will Buxton, he is Mr. Glass Half Full, Mr. Positivity, Mr. Optimism, if this compile is anything to go by.
Disappointment and frustration in the Red Bull camp at the end of this weekend. Mexico has never been kind to Racing Point. Not been a great weekend for Haas, but a horrible weekend for Alfa Romeo. So appallingly horrible.
Been a horrible weekend for everybody, according to Will Buxton.
Hey, you know what he needs?
And I know where the sun sets.
And in fact, you need a bit of a top-up, Lukey Boy. Have some positivity.
Gee, I know they're talking about the altitude in Mexico, but the positivity here has really kind of made the air thin.
It's a low downforce fragrance. Horrible weekend for many of the teams, Lukey Boy, particularly for Haas's Kevin Magnussen, and Will Buxton really rammed the point home.
Yeah, I guess we'll just try and get out of it what we can tomorrow and just move on. Look forward to next year.
Car looks horrible.
I mean, you've already got the gunt breathing down your neck.
You don't need Will Buxton. God, lay off Buxton. He's trying his best.
And when Kevin Magnussen is smiling at you, you know he's actually not happy.
Yeah, that's the opposite of Lewis Hamilton's positivity. Kevin Magnussen's negativity. That's his new fragrance. Crofty and Brundle were back together again, Lukey Boy, which means it's time for the return of one of our favourite segments, #Ignore Crofty.
Now, Tim, we actually haven't run Ignore Crofty in a while.
We've been ignoring Ignore Crofty for a little while, but we're back at it this week because Martin Brundle was back to his old tricks of ignoring every word that David Croft said.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm surprised he turned up. I wondered if he was going to come in, but he said he had nobody to come along with. No?
Sorry, I was just thinking about something else there, but
they're back.
They're back. He was thinking of something else and wishing he was somewhere else. Well done, Martin Brundle. But Lukey boy, in a reserve drivers exclusive.
Oh, here we go. Hold on to your hats.
Hold on to your sombreros. In a reserve drivers exclusive and a reserve drivers initiative, we have a brand new version of Ignore Crofty called #CorrectCrofty. This is where Martin Brundle doesn't just ignore what Crofty says.
Oh, no.
He physically corrects it.
Hard compound tyres, the dark bits, bit of blistering on the surface, doesn't help with the
It's not blistering, it's a bit of pickup.
Bit of pickup?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's not blistering, that's burning. Brundle just burnt Crofty in the first installment of #Correcting Crofty.
I would have thought 2 weeks apart would have made Brundle a little bit more lighter, but he's right into it.
There's 4 races to go. Brundle's got no time for that.
But Crofty and Sky, to their credit, they're not resting on their laurels, okay?
Aren't they?
No, they're not.
We certainly are.
And actually, we could take heed from this. They're looking to expand their audience, expand their market.
I do my bit to keep cats focused and up to date with as much F1 information as they possibly can muster.
Crofty's focusing attention to the cats of Formula One to keep the kittens interested in Formula One.
What?
What would the Sky commentary team be without their pit lane reporter, Ted Kravitz?
He's right at the coalface in pit lane, Lukey boy.
He is, and he's dealing with a lot. Although I'd argue in his notebook segment, he has to deal with a whole lot more.
You're right. Hello.
Go!
Absolutely.
What's that for?
What's it for? What's what for? My puppy.
Now, 100% I can confirm Ted Kravitz has never had an attractive Mexican girl ask about his puppy. Never.
Fair to say, she was more interested in Toto Wolff and his whopping enormous... Actually, we won't finish that sentence.
No. Ted works hard in his notebook. That's one thing I noticed. Ted is working overtime in his notebook. Check this out.
They are missing that system now that they don't have it, but I think that's a little bit unkind. Nico Hulkenberg was P10.
The poor guy standing all by himself in the rain.
The camera crew hasn't even turned up to film the notebook. They're filming it. They're on a zoom lens from 100 metres away. Ted's just talking to himself. Speaking of pit lane, there are a couple of pit lane problems over the weekend, Lukey boy.
Yeah, it was a bit of an awkward one in the pits.
And we've put together the highlights. A lot of trouble in pit lane, Lukey boy.
Trouble in pit lane paradise.
A lot of talk about the role of the pit lane engineers. I have one man who could provide the ultimate solution to the pit lane problems.
Pit stop.
None other than the great ASAP Ferg.
Now, is this a new digital analyst, a new Formula One guru?
That is ASAP Ferg, or to use his full name, As Soon As Possible Ferg.
Okay.
He's a rapper. He was down in pit lane. And Lukey boy, if you're an international rap sensation, what could be the most interesting thing you could see in the Formula One world? I'll stop you right there. It's this.
So here we have Romain Grosjean's car.
Romain Grosjean's car. ASAP Ferg was chomping at the bit to see Romain Grosjean's car.
How unfortunate do you have to be a rapper, American, and not hang out with Lewis Hamilton?
ASAP was fortunate enough to sit in the Romain Grosjean's car.
What do you reckon?
Fine. It's not really mad comfortable, but...
So full credit to ASAP Ferg, he managed to give the same feedback that Romain Grosjean's been given to his engineers. It's not exactly mad comfortable.
Hang on, what car have they given him? This, 2019 or 2016?
It was,
or 20,
it was the
Melbourne?
hybrid. It was the hybrid of
okay,
Melbourne
hybrid.
and the new specs.
Okay.
ASAP picked up on it. He's a savvy operator. So the Haas boys took ASAP Ferg through some pit stop practice. And the first thing they showed him was the wheel gun.
You start with a gun like that, pull the trigger.
I mean, you shouldn't have to show a rapper a gun, but in this case they did. And it's fair to say ASAP Ferg was a natural with the pit stop gun in hand. Natural, totally natural, like a duck to water. He also had a crack at adjusting critical elements of the front wing. Have a look. No wonder House is struggling, Lukey boy.
That's a visual representation of the workload of this show that we do. Tim, time for a segment that people have been hanging out for.
The end of the show, the outro segment. What a week it's been.
It's time for the 100% lockup.
Backed by popular demand after seemingly weeks in the wilderness.
Let me just adjust my sombrero for this one.
The 100% lockup. Luke's 100% lockup is back.
This is when we take a look at the things in the F1 weekend that are 100% a lock. They will definitely happen. We start with an absolute gimme, an absolute safe bet, okay? It's Romain Grosjean being completely uncooperative with his race engineer.
Mate, this is not drivable.
Okay,
This is
watch
absolutely not
Bottas
drivable.
2 behind, pushing.
I
Watch for
don't-
Bottas.
I don't give a...
Romain being difficult, that's an 100% lock.
What a start to the lockup. What a start. I mean, if that's you at 100%, I'd hate to see you at 50.
True. Next week will be the 23% lockup. No. Okay, the next thing that is a 100% happens, and it's when Lewis Hamilton wins. You hear Pete Bonington say, "Get in there, Lewis." That is 100% lockup. But hang on. Oh, I see you scratching your head. Pete Bonington wasn't at the race.
Missing in action.
So how are we going to hear it?
Well, if I can channel Peter Bonington, I'll say, get in there, Lewis. Well done today.
Get in there, Lewis is an 100% lockup.
Ted Kravitz embarrassing himself on national television. That's 100% lockup.
Hey, this is my segment,
Oh,
all right?
sorry.
I let you have your bloody, your little...
I get to muck around with my little segments.
Third and final lockup segment.
I'll have you locked up if you continue with this segment, by the way.
When unfortunate things happen in the F1 weekend, there is one sure way that they have occurred. There's one distinct reason, and it's the commentator's curse. It was Max Verstappen who felt it on the weekend.
See Verstappen, because he's got provisional pole, he can wait, can't he? Because the risk of yellow flags, double waved yellows is not quite so great for him.
The risks of double yellow flags will not affect Max Verstappen.
He can go out last.
And there is the Mercedes!
What did we say about yellow flags?
You said it wouldn't ruin Max's lap. It took him away from pole. The commentator's curse, that's an 100% lockup.
In fairness to Max Verstappen, Lukey boy, he didn't see the yellow flags, and I think I know why. Have a look at the fans. Yeah, they're waving red and green flags. If you're a driver, you don't know whether to keep going or the session's totally stopped.
You can't blame Max.
You can't blame Max. He had no chance. Lukey boy, we like to laugh at the lighter side of Formula One.
We're only human.
But we are still very much a hard-hitting Formula One podcast. So it's time for the return of... Technical talk. Formula One is a very technical sport and sometimes requires a bit of technical talk.
And this is why people are tuning into the reserve drivers.
This is the segment where we celebrate the best in-depth analysis from the race weekend. The winner this week is Martin Brundle, back in the commentary box, Lukey boy, and here he is providing a unique insight into the state of the tyres.
Leclerc came in first and he's on much fresher tyres and going faster.
And the surface of those tyres look great.
Did you catch that, everyone? The surface of the tyres looked great. Well done, Martin Brundle. Bit of technical talk there.
It wasn't the only technical talk from M. Brundle. Okay, I'd like to throw one in there for you.
Have you got your own example?
I've got my own example.
Because this is my segment. As you said a moment ago, this is my segment. Hands off.
Speaking of hands, it's a very technical process handling the steering wheel, handling oversteer, handling understeer, controlling the car. Martin Brundle explains.
It's like he was fighting an octopus in the turn 16 there onto the pit straight.
Yeah, you'll be getting a technical talking to after that, Lukey boy. Don't ever jump in on my segment again. Otherwise, you'll be fighting an octopus.
Hey, man, chill out. Have a taco.
Have some positivity.
People want to see more of the midfield battles. Now, I'm not going to show a midfield battle. I'm going to show a Williams battle.
You're going to show an end of the field battle, a tail field battle.
It's Robert Kubica overtaking George Russell. This is scintillating stuff that nobody's seeing.
Whoa! Down the inside.
A great move, and that's what the F1 doesn't want you to see.
Robert Kubica driving a car. They don't want you to see that, but what a move from Kubica.
Listen to how thrilled his engineer was post-move.
Good job, Robert.
No thrill. The big issue in the Formula One world is the 2021 rules and regulations. When are they going to be confirmed? When are teams going to know what's going on?
Will the reserve drivers still be around in 2021?
Exactly. I'm happy to report that the F1 executives, the F1 officials met during the weekend in Mexico to hash it all out.
Is this a reserve drivers exclusive?
You better believe this is a reserve drivers exclusive. I've got footage. Let's take a look at the officials meeting to discuss the 2021 rules and regulations. Ross Brawn, Chase Carey, they really pull that look off.
They didn't settle on a design as well, by the way. There's still a bit of fun around. Of course, Lukey boy, the Mexican Grand Prix is about one man and one man only. Mario Achi, the Mexican Grand Prix mascot.
And I loved him. I loved his work and I loved his moves. I'll tell you what, Mr. Achi there, he can dance.
He can dance, but he can't dance with Sebastian Vettel. He wasn't too keen on sharing the podium with the mascot.
Hard tyre, Sebastian Vettel in the dirty air, not able.
Oh, a bit of contact there between Vettel and Mario Archie.
Some avoiding action there.
Yeah, the stewards are going to be noting that incident. Don't worry about that. But it's not the first time Mario Archie's managed to stick his sombrero-wearing head into a famous photo.
Oh, no?
We all remember this momentous moment from 1969, but what you don't remember is the man who joined Neil Armstrong. It was Mario Archie. Mario Archie was there.
One small step for man, one cha-cha for mankind.
Fast forward a number of years, Lukey boy, to the momentous moment in the demilitarized zone of North Korea. And who was there with Trump and Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un? Mario Archie, the man himself. In fact, he's actually appeared in our podcast earlier in the year, Lukey boy. There he is there. He co-hosted an episode. Well done, Mario Archie.
Friend of the show.
Mascot of the show. But the man of the moment, Lukey boy.
How many men of the moment are we going to have?
About 100 if you're keeping count. But the man of the moment was the new addition to the Sky Sports commentary team, Jenson Button. We all know and love Jenson Button. He was the winner of the 2009 Formula One Championship. And I know that because Jenson brings it up at every occasion. Here he is answering a question about Mercedes. Get it? Mercedes. And their championship winning year. Just check out the overlay footage that they use.
And, you know, they are a formidable force, you know.
That's Brawn. That's not Mercedes.
That's shameless.
That is shameless Button. He actually brought that footage in to the Sky Sports team, and it continued. This is in an interview with Lando Norris.
When you were growing up, I guess you were watching in the era of where...
I guess when you were growing up, I was your hero. Jenson is all about one thing, Jenson Button, and he celebrated that during the week at a book launch for his brand new book. And in a reserve drivers exclusive, Lukey boy, we have an advanced copy of Jenson Button's book, How Not to Write an F1 Book, The Jenson Button Story. It's a fantastic book, a fantastic read. It's out now. Let's just open a random page of How Not to Write an F1 Book.
Please, enlighten me.
And if we could dim the lights and have some music, that'd be great. I remember my first time in a racing car. I was 7. It was in an old rickety cart, bought and built by my dad. We'd go to races on Saturdays in winter at a rundown little track just off the beaten track. I remember the smells, the sights, the feel of the wheel between my racing gloves, 2 sizes too big. And I remember thinking one day, just one day, Ross Brawn would launch Brawn GP, and together we'd win the 2009 championship. Sorry, that's a bad example.
Yeah, that's
let's get another bit of Jenson Button.
That's a curious excerpt.
This is about meeting his partner Brittany.
Oh, okay, beautiful.
Our eyes met across the dimly lit restaurant. She gave me a look and a smile that night that I remember still to this day. I'll never forget that look, and I'll never forget that day. It was the day we designed the double diffuser on the 2009 Brawn car. Sorry, that's another bad example. I've got time for one more story.
Please.
This is about the birth of his brand new baby boy earlier this year.
Now, this is a life-changing, greatest moment of his life. There's no way he can weave Formula One into this.
There we were in the hospital, my darling partner Brittany holding my firstborn son, Hendrix Jonathan Button. I couldn't wait to hold him, to cradle his tiny head, to hold his little hand, and to tell him about how in 2009 Ross Brawn bought out the Honda F1 team and created Brawn GP. Jenson Button, how to weave Brawn GP into every personal story, out now. We've got to jump out of here, Lukey boy.
Adios, muchachos.
You can catch us on all your socials at The Reserve Drivers, reservedrivers.com for all the exclusive articles, and check out the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts.
And as per usual, leave us your comments. I stay up all night reading them. I'm going to go to the toilet. Too many Dr. Helmet tacos.
Time for a bit of positivity, and we'll see you next week in Austin, where the question on everyone's lips will be...
What are you expecting of the race?
Sorry?
What are you expecting?
A hard fight.
How many shows left?